Hey guys, so I'm just gonna jump right into my creative project on gender. I said that, well, number one was what are the similarities and differences when it comes to race and gender? I said that the similarities were that both race and gender are ways for people to identify themselves. For example, I identify as a white male. I know that I'm white and I identify as male. And I also said that both are biological. Now, moving on to the differences, I said that gender is socially constructed. This can be based on peers, family, whoever you grow up around, whatever you grow up around, it is socially constructed. Um, and I said that I brought up privilege. Um, we all know what white privilege is regarding race. If you're white, you are more privileged. And regarding gender, if you're male, you're more privileged. Um, and I also brought up people who are transgender. Um, Laverne Cox versus Caitlyn Jenner. Laverne Cox uh, comes from Alabama and she transitioned at a young age. And in Hollywood, she brought up that a lot of trans women get roles as sex workers and their acting roles. And she brought up that, yes, a lot of trans women turn to sex work in order to survive, but that is their main purpose, and not all trans women do sex work. And Caitlyn Jenner is a white woman. I think she's very privileged, even as a trans woman. She has money, and she's very, very famous, even before she transitioned. Um, and she comes from a different background as well. And she didn't transition until she was in her 60s. So that's important as well. I also brought up um, that Caitlyn Jenner uh, sees that trans women are supposed to pass and um, act and look a certain way, whereas Laverne Cox doesn't really see it that way. She's doesn't see all trans women as that way, and she doesn't have any high expectations. Moving on to number two, um, how much does perception have to do with gender? I kind of said a lot regarding to social norms that men and women are expected to appear a certain way in society, or they will often be viewed as different or weird or an outcast. And like, why are you doing something different? Why are you dressing a certain way? Um, and that's very problematic. And I also brought up once again Caitlyn Jenner, uh, her idea of passing the video on her voice not sounding the way that she wants it to, uh, when a lot of women uh, they have lower pitched voices, speaking voices, and um, I just don't think that's the most important thing. Like she should be focused on, and passing shouldn't be such a big deal as it is to her. Um, and then moving on to number three, what formed your personal gender and why? I think my gender was formed socially and biologically, and I said that I identify as a queer white male. And when I walk into a room, I think that's obvious. People view me, I mean, obviously I'm white, obviously I'm male. I think it's obvious. Um, and it's probably obvious to most people that I am gay. Uh, I know we haven't touched on uh, sexual orientation just yet, but that's how I feel. Uh, and I also brought up that my personal gender, it was formed because of how I was brought up and how my family was, um, going back to the socially constructed, gender being socially constructed. Um, Relating to gender, one story or example is whenever I was younger, I didn't play with like um, cars and trucks and what have you. I played with like Barbies and baby dolls, and um, my parents kind of went against social norms in that way, and for that I'm really happy that they allowed me to express myself the way I wanted to and do what I wanted to, play with what I wanted to, and for that I feel like I've been very lucky. So that's all I have. Thank you.